Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Joined as I am every week, Braylon Noble, Josh Boheim in studio with me today. Quite a few things to talk about today. A lot of SU basketball talk. Going to talk some SU football recruiting. A big game this weekend for the Buffalo Bills. I know we don't talk a lot of NFL and stuff on this show, but there's a lot of Bills fans around here, and that's a pretty big game they've got tomorrow. Essentially, winning, you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much control their own destiny at this point.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
I know there are scenarios in which they make the playoffs even if they lose tomorrow, but at this point, just win the game. You just win the game, you win the division, you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a lot about that as well. Let's start quickly. I want to have a bigger Syracuse basketball talk. Pat says Mark hates the Bills. That's just not true. Josh is the one that hates the Bills.
That's right, Pat. I certainly do.
I don't hate the Bills at all. I like the Bills, and I like them to win tomorrow. So we'll get into that. But I do want to start off with a little bit of Syracuse basketball talk. Like I said, we're going to have a more in-depth discussion on SU basketball in just a little bit. But just start with the game the other night against Duke. Tuesday night sort of flew under the radar. Like a lot of SU fans weren't talking about this one going into the game, and I think I know why. It's not Boeheim versus Coach K anymore.
Right.
That was the only juice that this quote unquote rivalry had, was Boeheim versus Coach K.
It's tough on those 9 o'clock games too. It's like
Oh,
a late
yeah.
game. It just feels different. I don't know.
I hate 9 o'clock starts for SU.
A little tired.
I love late basketball. Like we've had many a nights where we sat and watched, some
Long Beach
random, Long Beach State that starts at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Like we do that all the time. I
Right.
love late night basketball, but when it's your own team and the day wears on you, and then you got to watch SU go out and lose by 20 at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. It's like, ugh, leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
It felt like one of those early season games where
It
it was
did.
like a good first half. You're still
Only
in position.
down by 2 at the half.
Right. Great first half.
Mm-hmm.
And just unraveled the second half. It just got out of hand. And it gets out of hand fast for this Syracuse team. When they go on dry spells, it lasts forever, it feels like.
Yeah, and it's not even just that. It was the thing happened in this game that, happens too often in Syracuse basketball games, specifically in the second half. We've seen this the past couple of years. The other team just gets into a stretch where they cannot miss. Right. Duke started the second half 9 for 9 from behind the arc.
Yeah, that can't happen.
They made 9 consecutive three-pointers. You cannot expect to be in a game, let alone win, if you give up 9 consecutive made three-pointers. And Pat brings up a good point. If Judah can't consistently give them 20-plus, they're in trouble. He had 18, but it wasn't a very Judah Mintz 18. He went 5 of 14 from the field. He made 8 of 9 free throws, which is always good. He was getting to the line consistently, and that's what you like to see out of a guard like Judah Mintz. But he did have 18 points. The story of this game was Malik Brown, who had probably his best game in a Syracuse uniform. Took 16 shots, which was a welcome sight, seeing Malik take that many down low. Went 11 of 16, 26 points, 3 of 3 from the line, even made a three-pointer, which he doesn't shoot many, but he's made a couple of this year. Or he made one against Niagara. We were in shock. We were in shock when we saw him pull up. We're like, no, and it went in. 1 of 2 from the line. Had 7 rebounds, which is like low for him in recent games. It seems like he's always around 10 to 12. So he had a great game, but outside of him and Judah, he had 26 points. Judah had 18. Starling had 9. He was their third leading scorer with 9.
That's tough.
Only 2 guys in double digits. Chris Bell played 11 minutes because he's quickly proving that if he can't make shots, what else are you going to do? He only took 1 shot, but he only played 11 minutes. Justin Taylor, only took 2 shots. He had 1 point.
Yep.
Quadir Copeland took 9 shots. They just didn't go in this time. He had been red hot coming off an ACC Player of the Week the week prior, and we were talking before the show, and you made a great comparison, Josh. When I really think it is because when he's playing well,
Yeah.
he's doing things that you're like, hold on a second. And you said it was like watching John Wall.
Yes.
Like he's making, 360 up and unders. He's doing all of these amazing things. And when he's playing well, it's great. But when he's not,
it looks bad.
It looks really bad.
Yeah, like there are probably some people who haven't watched a lot of Q's basketball getting that primetime game going like, Jesus, this guy plays, 20 minutes a game for them? Holy crap.
And, it's the 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 boards. He's always been a guy that can do it all.
5-tool player.
4 turnovers, 3 fouls. Like, that's the ups and downs of Quadir Copeland. And I really like him. Pat just said, is Quadir Copeland our Deion Waiters? And I think he kind of is.
Could be.
And it's not just because they're both from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's certainly part of it. SU loves their Philly guys. Jim asks, any Westry update, or is he done for the season? From what I've heard, I don't know if we're going to see Chance Westry this year. And that stinks. I would have liked to see Chance Westry this year, but that injury doesn't seem to be getting better. And Pat brings up a good point. He should be done for the season just so he can keep his eligibility. I agree.
Yep.
And call it a redshirt year and just, move forward because I think he would make a significant impact for this team, and it stinks that we haven't seen him yet. But right now, just I think move forward with the lineup you have. And the discussion I want to have in a bit, we're going to take a timeout in a second, but the discussion I want to have after the break is looking ahead for SU.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this next stretch of 7 games is really important for this team that I still think has a chance to be a tournament team.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a quad 1 win yet, but Oregon is putting in work. We beat that team by 20.
Yep.
And essentially they're playing with the same lineup.
Yes.
They've had one guy come back in limited playing time. He played 6 minutes the other night against Washington that they beat. They've had one guy come back. But it's the same lineup that SU beat by 20.
They're quacking.
And they are, I don't know if they've lost again.
I don't think
since.
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting in work. They're trying really hard to become a quad 1 win for SU. And I don't care if it's retroactive or not. You take quad 1 wins however you can get them. And in their other matchups this year, SU has looked completely outmatched against quad 1 teams. So that would be a huge thing for Syracuse. And they've done well against quad 2 as well. I think they're 3-1 against quad 2 teams. So that would be huge for Syracuse if the Ducks could sneak their way into that top tier.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, they were down 2 at half. If you give up 9 3-pointers to start a half, you're not going to win a game. I really thought they would cover. It was 13.5 points. And I thought that was way too many.
It looked good the whole game.
It looked good the entire game, and then
it was.
It's the same thing that happened against Tennessee. It's the same thing that happened against Gonzaga.
Yep.
We've seen it 3 times from the Syracuse team against top flight competition. And Duke, hey, listen, top 15 team in the country.
Yes.
They were ranked 14th going into that game. There's no shame in losing to a team like Duke.
Mm-hmm.
The shame is what the defense did in the second half.
Yes.
Right? And that's what needs to be worked on moving forward for the Syracuse team. And we'll talk about what that defense can do over the next 7 or so games when we come back. We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. If you want, we can do it here.
Fun little hypothetical. You talking about Chance Westry?
Yeah.
Right? Talking about guys, we previewed Clemson, North Carolina. We were talking about before this. Joe Girard's balling this year.
Oh yeah,
Syracuse guy. I mean, where would he have fit into this team? Would he have?
That pushes Starling to the bench.
Do you think it pushes Starling, or do they take the 3 out and make?
You can't go that small. I don't think. Joe Girard is listed at 6 feet tall, and
Yeah,
I've
I know.
mentioned it before. We're the same height. I've stood next to him. He's 5'10".
Good point. And Judah's not playing 3.
They probably would use that lineup, but they probably wouldn't start it.
No, I think it could be a really good lineup. Like that's a lineup you go to, like in the second half if you're up like 5,
You just run and gun.
and you just run and gun, try to get up 10-15. Like I think that's a really interesting lineup they could run, but the fit just. And actually, yeah, we can talk about this a little bit on air as well, because I do think it is an interesting conversation.
He's their leading scorer, right?
I know he is.
Yeah, I mean he's actually balling.
No, he's
out
playing
Clemson.
very well.
Yeah. They're a top 20 program.
Yeah. It
kind of sucks to see. To
Well,
be honest with you.
and Pat brings up a point that I was going to talk about. We'll talk about when we come back, Pat, but I agree with you. He says Joe Girard is great if you only ask him to shoot.
Yeah.
If you ask him to do literally anything else, he's.
I don't think that was ever a problem.
Yeah.
Dude loves shooting.
Yeah.
But just imagine all those buckets that Justin Taylor's shooting right now
Mhm.
that could go to Joe Girard.
Yeah. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Little hypothetical we were talking about during the break, and I wanted to bring it to air because I think it's a really interesting conversation. Josh brought it up. We're seeing a guy that played for Syracuse for 4 years, a very divisive player.
For sure.
Play at an ACC rival in Clemson. That's Joe Girard, and he has been playing very well. For Clemson. And Josh, you brought up the idea, where would he fit on this team?
Yep.
Like what would Joe Girard's role be on this team? And we were talking about it during the break, and Pat brought up, like, you know, he can't run the point.
No.
And I agree. I always said Joe Girard is a shooting guard
Yes.
that isn't tall enough to play shooting guard.
Yes.
Like, he's listed at 6 feet tall, whatever.
Legitimately, he fits on an NBA roster. If we're talking next level too, like just to be a pure 3-point shooting guy, he is undersized, but yes.
That's what I said about Buddy.
Yeah.
Coming out of SU. I was like, this dude could carve out a Kyle Korver-esque role in the NBA.
Uh-huh.
Just be tall and shoot threes.
Play a lick of defense.
Yeah, like
Try.
Don't need you to.
Which is what's going to hurt Joe.
Yeah, because he can't play a lick of defense at all.
Correct.
And Pat brought up the point that Girard is great if you only ask him to shoot. And I totally agree. He is a really good shooter.
Yes.
That was never a question, was his ability to shoot. Pat says there's literally no avenue for Joe Girard in the NBA. I think more so his style of play.
Yeah.
Like, his style of play could absolutely work.
Might be too small, though.
He is too small. I've said it before. He's 5'10". I don't care what the listing is. I've stood next to him. We're the same height. I am not 6 feet tall.
I could see him as a second-round pick, getting drafted and possibly playing. If he's just so well.
I don't think he could get drafted. Some team will give him a G League spot.
Yeah,
he could lead the ACC in scoring this year.
He could.
He might. I think he might be.
But a lot of people can play college and then just not be good NBA players.
Good point.
We see it year in and year out.
You see it a lot with a lot of white college basketball players. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
That was.
The hell was that?
I don't know if that went over air. There's a.
What the hell?
There is a. There's an Amazon Echo device in here, that is hooked up to the man-child.
Oh.
It's his account, and it's hooked up to his Ring doorbell, and so it just told us that there was someone at the door, and it showed it's got a screen, and it showed me the front door at Jim Lurch's house. So if that went over air, I apologize. It was quite loud. We all heard it in here.
I thought just saying white college basketball players made a sound. I'm like, whoa.
No, but
they're listening.
You're right. I mean, I thought Luka Garza was going to be a stud.
Yep.
And he's not very good. He's on the Timberwolves now, we determined.
He is?
Yeah,
If you want to go way back, I was a huge Tyler Hansborough fan.
Yes.
Tyler
When I
Hansborough.
was a kid, oh my
and
goodness.
if
Great
we're
example.
I love Tyler
if we're talking about going way back, Christian Leitner,
well, he had a
he was
decent career.
good.
He had a
He
decent
he
career.
was good, but he was, in college,
Yeah.
Christian Leitner was the
Yeah.
guy. He's still talked about as one of the best college basketball players of all time.
We see him in Syracuse now, Jerry Mack.
Yeah, G-Mac,
He
like
was fantastic.
yeah, there's a
Didn't play-
million of
Did
them.
he play a game in the NBA?
I
don't
don't
even
think
he played
so.
a game.
No, I don't think he played a lick. I think
I
he
know,
immediately
Andy
went
Rowlands
overseas.
Played a game or two. for the
Yeah, he
Knicks.
for the Knicks. Yeah, that didn't work out either. Andy Rowlands. There's a million of them.
I think the only success story is JJ Redick. Of like good, like high level college basketball player who then
Well, I mean,
made a good NBA.
I don't think
career
it's just white players either. There's some black
Well, true.
players.
I'm
oh well,
just-
yes, but
yeah, yeah. My bad. I'm just singling out whites. Sorry, Rick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
we are just no, but
There's busts on both sides. I
there's
get that.
there's plenty of you can look at a million examples of guys that Pat says awesome white basketball player talk on January 6th.
My bad.
But no, there's a million examples of guys that were great college basketball. You see it in college football as well.
Mhm.
And how many great college quarterbacks do you see that go to the pros and stink? Johnny
Sure.
Manziel. I mean, obviously there were other factors
Yeah.
that went along with Johnny
Kellen
football.
Moore.
Kellen Moore. That's another one.
Matt
Like,
Leinart.
Matt Leinart. Jamarcus Russell.
The busts go on.
Like
and on.
there's a million people. Pat said Tyler Wyden. Damn it. They're all from SU too. There's a million of them. But anyway, to go back to this conversation,
Yeah, Joe Girard.
I think Joe Girard would be a very interesting fit on this team
Mhm.
because I think at times you could run a lineup of Girard, Mintz, and Starling, which is just your like, all right, run and gun, score as many points as you can in the next 6 minutes lineup.
Mhm.
And I think that would be a lot of fun to watch. But that's the type of lineup you run that thanks, Pat, I know. I may have done that intentionally. Anyway, I'm not going to it's just more white talk. He said Johnny Manziel white, Kellen Moore white, Jamarcus Russell not white. He said not white with an exclamation point. He's very excited about that. Anyway, so that could be a fun lineup, but I think it pushes Starling to the bench. He's your second unit point guard.
Mhm.
And you run Starling out there with like Benny and Cuff and Copeland. Like I think it could be probably McLeod. Get some, move him to the second unit as well. I know he starts just so we can try to win the tip off.
Mhm.
Which he doesn't. Pat says Girard, Mintz, Starling would get run off the court on defense. Absolutely. That's why you only run it very sparingly when you need a bunch of points.
Doesn't the zone kind of help with the undersized though? I mean, one of them is going to have to play the low play. I understand.
Yeah,
that, but
like
you can kind of get away with it a little bit playing zone if you're undersized.
a little bit.
Just be careful of those corner
And
threes.
the thing is though that Girard proved that his defense didn't even work in the zone.
I understand. I
Yeah,
get it.
like, and Pat just brought up the same thing. It would be a terrible defensive lineup, like awful,
Undoubtedly.
undoubtedly. But it'd be fun to watch for 6 minutes as they just move as fast as humanly possible and just try to score in bunches.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can do that with this team. I really don't, and I'm glad he's playing so well at Clemson. Wish him all the success in the world.
Mhm.
I was never a Joe Girard guy, but I always thought he got a little too much hate
Got a lot of
from
hate.
some Syracuse fans. Like,
That last year was tough.
what he was good at, he was good at.
Mhm.
Would I have liked to see more improvement over his time at Syracuse? Absolutely. Did I
Needed
get
one more year?
did I get unbelievably frustrated watching him dribble the ball off his foot in crunch time every single game? Yes, I did.
That was
But I do wish him all the success in the world, and I'm glad he's doing well at Clemson.
Mhm.
But it is interesting to think, like, he could have been on this team, man. But I feel if he was here, J.J. Starling wouldn't be.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have transferred in.
I think if he was here, J.J. Starling wouldn't have been. So that makes it
Worth it.
yeah. In my opinion. I know JJ hasn't been great, but I think that's
Cuse
a
plays in
better
Clemson
lineup.
this year.
We do play.
It's not at the Dome, is it?
Yeah, we've got 2 against Clemson this year.
Oh,
So Joe Girard will be making his return to the
Wow.
Dome.
What day is that?
That is February 10th, a noon game.
Might have to. That's a Saturday noon.
I'm
take it.
assuming, yeah. That might be a little post-show trip for us. Might have to see Joe Girard make his return to the Dome. But speaking of the SU schedule, these next 7 games I think are quite important. Because I say you need to go 5-2 in this stretch. And I think it's possible. Because there's a couple of tough games in here. You got our next game is Boston College. That's on the 10th. That's at the Dome. Boston College, okay, that's fine. I think that's a win. We go to North Carolina on the 13th, a week from today. Noon game. I'm gonna chalk that one up as a loss.
We're gonna just chalk that one up here.
Anything can happen. I'm gonna say that's a loss.
Let's be realistic. Okay, I like it.
At Pitt.
Yep.
I know we just beat Pitt. I don't know if we beat Pitt twice in short order because Pitt was the last game before Duke. And I don't know if we beat Pitt twice pretty much in short order and beat them in their building for the second one.
Okay.
So all of a sudden you start that stretch 1-2.
Yeah, you're gonna see how this team reacts if
Yeah.
they lose like that.
And then it's Miami, Florida State, NC State, all at home. 3 straight at home and then on the road against Boston College, which I think we beat Boston College both times.
Yes.
Boston College is not very good.
I mean, I think there's definitely avenues to win those games. All of the ones you said. Miami's probably the toughest home stretch there.
I think those 3 games are going to show you what this team is made of.
Especially
Miami,
if they do bad in those first 3.
Yeah, Miami, Florida State, NC State. If you go 1-2 in those first 3, that stretch is really like, okay, we're back in our house. We don't like to lose here. As a matter of fact, they haven't yet.
All 3 of those would be pretty impressive ACC wins.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wolfpack's nothing to shy about.
They'd be really good. I don't know what's going on with my I'm just dry over here for some reason.
We'll get you a water or something, Braylon. It's okay. Did you have something else to say?
No.
Okay.
I can't
Oh
even-
my God.
Yeah, you are struggling a little bit, aren't you?
That's like 10 minutes. I don't know what's going on.
He like grabbed his heart at one point. I thought, I'm like, oh shit, like, is something happening right here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But that's going to be an interesting stretch, and I think that's the big one for Syracuse moving forward. And after that, I mean, it doesn't get much easier. Like I said, we've got Clemson twice. We've got North Carolina twice this year as well. So we do get UNC at home. That one's on the 13th. So we go back to 3 straight home games: Louisville, Clemson, North Carolina. Louisville stinks. Yeah. That program is in shambles. So I'm feeling fine about that. But Clemson, North Carolina, back to back. I know they're both home games, but yeesh, those are tough games to have fairly late in your season.
Yeah.
Then by the way, after the Boston College game I mentioned at BC, it's Wake Forest, Louisville, Clemson, UNC. Then on the road for 2 against Georgia Tech and NC State. Come back for 2, Notre Dame and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, that's going to be Senior Day, February 27th. Then on the road for the last 2, Louisville and at Clemson to close out the season. So Joe Girard has the chance to be the knife in the heart of SU fans one final time because he did it for 4 years when he was at Syracuse.
You know he's so excited to play against them.
We all know that he's going to come in the Dome and drop 30, right?
Yes. Yes. He might shoot 50 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just going to give him the ball as much as possible.
It's either going to go really good for him or really bad.
Yeah.
Because he's going to want to prove a point so bad.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. He's either going to drop 38 or 5 on 2 of 18 shooting.
He shoots through the cold stretches. We know that, boys. So he's just going to keep shooting.
Oh, yeah. He's never going to stop.
What is he averaging for them?
It's around 20, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be. I'm telling you, he's got to be one of the top scorers in the country.
Oh, he doesn't even lead them.
He doesn't?
No, their leading scorer is PJ Hall. He's averaging 20. He's their center. Girard, he's averaging 20.2. Girard's averaging 15.8. So,
it?
yeah.
I thought he was he
started slow.
Okay.
Yeah, he started the year kind of slow, I think. Yeah, he had 3 points in their first game, 6 in their second. And he's had a couple of, like, he had one against Memphis. He only had 8 points. But, yeah, he's had quite a few 20-point games this year. At Pitt, he had 25. Versus Boise State, he had 23, 21 against TCU, 24. Is that Radford?
Radford.
That is Radford. He had
Okay.
24 against Radford. Why? Clemson played Radford on December 29th. No, that makes sense.
Are
They've
they
only-
in South Carolina? Where's Radford?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'll look that up, producer. Don't worry.
Yeah, and thanks, Josh. Yeah, look up where Radford is.
The important questions.
Pat-
Virginia. Yeah.
Oh, it's in Virginia. Okay. Pat said he's gonna have 10 points on 25 shots.
Good.
Very possible.
Good.
But I just think he's gonna kill
But that
us.
doesn't make threes, Pat. You got to think. So maybe a foul shot there to get to 10.
Yep.
Because he's only shooting threes.
He's only shooting.
He's not shooting mid range, Pat.
Yep.
Come on now.
I agree. It's gonna be fun. I think it is going to be fun seeing him back in the dome and seeing the type of reaction he gets.
Boo birds?
I think it's just a rain of boos.
I think so too. I think I think the students pack it and boo the crap out of him.
Oh yeah, the students boo him. I think you'll get some random cheers here and there.
Some old timers.
Yeah, you'll get the occasional cheer here and there, but for the most part, I think you're going to see a lot of boo birds.
You think they'll do like a welcome back for him?
He'll get a
He'll get a video.
montage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll absolutely get a video. It's college. You play 4 years at a school. I don't care if you were good or not. You're getting a video.
Yep.
And he was okay
He was
for
good.
Syracuse.
He was good.
He
for
was good.
Syracuse.
He
In
was
those
good.
Years, he was good.
Just wasn't what he was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Pat said, "Never forget how Joe Girard blocked me after I tweeted at him." That doesn't surprise me. I can only imagine what the tweets.
I've seen your emails to Wild Hack, so I can only imagine what you tweeted Joe Girard, Pat.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a timeout. We'll be right back in a minute here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. We're gonna get Braylon some water. Poor guy was dying over there. Girard did in fact cost SU Kadari Richmond, but I'm happy to see him. He's playing pretty well at Seton Hall, I believe. I'll double check that, but I've seen him have a couple of good games there. And Seton Hall's solid. Kadari Richmond. Yeah, he's averaging 15 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Yeah, he's been really solid for Seton Hall. He's averaging 2.5 steals a game. Pat says, "Get a job. I'm trying. This is all I got right now." There's no cups?
No.
Well, there is in the in the cupboard. There's no like coffee mugs or anything. Oh, you can use those. Yeah, go ahead. I use those all the time.
I told him to too, but I think it's one of those things where I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I'm a guy. I'll be honest with you, I'd take anybody's mug. They got wine in the cooler, you know that? We could get a little bubbly out here.
They got wine in there?
There's 2 things of wine, and then Crush makes a cream soda. Did
Yes.
you know that?
I didn't know Crush made one, but
Yeah, I didn't
I
know
love
either.
cream soda.
Just gonna think about snagging that. There's a couple of those in there. I don't know who that is, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm coming.
That's true. Seton Hall is in fact in New Jersey, which is gross. Shout out Quincy Guerrier playing big minutes for the Illinois Fighting Illini last night.
Who?
former SU forward Quincy Guerrier.
Hmm.
He's in like his 8th year in college.
There we go. We got him back.
We got Braylon some water.
Oh my god, I don't know what was going on.
He lit- when
I
he
kept
went,
trying to talk.
Yeah, I know.
he did one of these, and I was like, "Oh shit!" He like,
Pat,
leaned over.
no, I'm not doing that.
And then I
What
was
do you
trying
say?
to like clear my
Th-
throat without.
No,
moving.
he's like, Mark, we need a Donald Trump endorsement. Shut up, Pat.
Take it easy, Pat.
We're not trying to get political on the show. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. We were just talking former SU dudes in the break as well. I said, shout out Quincy Guerrier, playing big minutes for the Illinois Fighting Illini last night. Good game they had against Purdue. Down 20-4 at one point, and then stormed back for a big cover.
Pretty crazy second half line they set up there.
13 and a half? Are you kidding? Never a doubt.
Yeah.
Never a doubt. Jim says Quincy not allowed to shoot threes, but Jimmy Boeheim had the green light. So it's true.
That's how it works.
That is how it worked here at SU for a little bit. Talk a little SU football. It's more recruiting, man. They just keep recruiting. Fran Brown never sleeps on the recruiting front. They've got 2 offensive linemen coming to visit. One, Micah Mazqua, is how I'm going to go with that pronunciation. Mazzccua.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going with. He's coming from Florida. He's visiting this weekend. And Oklahoma offensive lineman transfer Aaron Parks.
That's an easier one.
Yeah. Aaron spelled Aaryn, so it
Okay.
threw me off for just a second. They're both visiting this weekend. SU looking to bolster that offensive line, which at times was not great this past season.
Yeah.
Or the season before that, or the season before that, or the season before that. We haven't had a good offensive line in a long time.
They had
So
pieces though. That dude got drafted first round.
Bergeron, yeah. We've had good offensive linemen, but we haven't had a good offensive line.
Good point.
So looking to bolster that under Fran Brown, and I mean you have to. You got a big shot quarterback coming in. You want to keep him protected.
How much more hype could you get for the SU football season? What's the next? I mean, honestly, the hype level's got to be in it.
Well,
right?
McCord did have a quote
Oh no.
that said at least one wide receiver was coming with him.
Okay.
That's how it could be more hype.
Play where his daddy played.
That's the only way.
So it's a 9 right now, leaving the room for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes.
Okay.
And it won't happen. He's
Yeah.
going to be a top 3 pick in the draft. Of course it's not going to happen.
You think he declares?
Yes.
Okay. I think so too.
I think he declares. But if he doesn't, and that door is even the slightest bit open.
But even then, I mean, he'd be turning there. There makes no sense. Nobody's paying him $24 million that he'd get at OSU
Absolutely.
to play in
No,
Syracuse. It
I-
just wouldn't be possible.
It's not going to happen.
They need Weissman back, dude. We need to get Wiseman back here if we want.
Get
Marvin.
Adam Weitzman back, and maybe we get Harrison.
Maybe a
but
couple of his friends. Maybe.
it's not going to happen. Pat says Marvin Harrison Jr. should be the number 1 overall pick. I agree.
Yes.
I 100% agree. I don't know if he will be.
Don't draft a quarterback.
It's going to be a quarterback. It's always a quarterback.
Chicago needs to take Harrison.
I agree, but
Him and DJ would be fun.
that would be real. And then we can really see if Fields is good. Oh yeah,
He is good. I think he's good. It's not just because I have him in a lot of fantasy leagues. I think he's actually good. I think he is. I think he's one of the best. I think he's a better Lamar Jackson. I'll say, which is weird. A better thrower than Lamar Jackson.
I think he does have a
think
better
his
arm.
peak is like Lamar. I think
Yeah.
that's the guy who can play at.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I really do. In terms of style of play, I don't think their arms are particularly good necessarily, but I think
Fields has a good arm.
Yes.
I think they both have good arms, but I do think Fields has a slightly better arm. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, this is all just rampant speculation. There's nothing that says
That's what this show is.
yeah, that's most of what this show is. outside of when I do some actual reporting, and none of the media outlets pick up on it.
Well, that was speculation too. No, I'm kidding. That was all crap.
But it would be fun. It's fun to think about. That way, Syracuse would have 2 legacies potentially coming in the next couple years. Carmelo's kid is a basketball player, and we're going after him heavy, as we should.
Melo loves it. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he'd only advocate for Syracuse.
Absolutely. I don't think people realize how much Carmelo loves Syracuse.
Yeah, every time he comes back, he absolutely loves this place.
Yeah, and I think, and we talked about it last week, I think, that story he told about when he was going to the draft. I don't know if you heard this because you weren't on the show last week. Carmelo had a great story.
Oh, I listened to it.
Yeah, after winning the championship, and he was like, "Coach, I'm coming back."
Yep.
Boeheim was like, "What are you talking about?" No, you're not. He's like, "No, Coach, I want to go to college. I want to get my degree. I want to play college basketball." He's like, "You just won a championship. Go be a top 3 pick in the draft. I'll pack your things for crap. You can leave it all here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send it to you." Awesome. He really does love this place, and I think we've got a pretty good chance to get his kid. I'm still torn on the pronunciation.
Cayenne.
It is Cayenne?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Cayenne Anthony.
Like the pepper.
Yes, like the pepper.
Nice.
It's not spelled like the pepper. It's like
K-I...
it's like Kaiyan, I think.
I didn't think he'd name his kid after a pepper.
Well, hey, people have weird names, man.
True.
But yeah, I think it's Kaiyan.
I don't know how you spell it, but
I think that's it. It's something like that. If Pat says with Gadsden coming back, it's really not unreasonable to think about the playoff next year. I agree.
Let's take it. All right. Hype's high. I get it. 12, I understand.
They might lose 1 game.
The schedule's pretty easy.
The schedule is so easy.
Let's reel it in, boys.
Jim says how highly rated is Melo's son. I believe he's a 4-star.
Okay.
He's not a 5-star. He's not like a can't miss like his father was, but he is pretty good. Listen, 12-team playoff.
I just don't want to get
easy schedule. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think with the expanded playoffs and the schedule that they have, I agree that I don't think it's unreasonable to think about it.
Even so this year, if they expanded the playoffs, what, 1 ACC teams make it?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. You got to be the best. You got to almost win the conference. I'm not saying you can't.
They
Mark,
could.
We talked about it. We could play in the conference game.
They could get to the conference championship.
I think that's the goal. But let's take it easy on the playoffs. I understand we all want it, but that's too hype. We're getting too hype now. We haven't actually seen it in action. We don't know if Fran Brown can actually coach a football team.
Yeah,
he can recruit the hell out of this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
But that's always my thing with a new coach is, can he coach?
Yes.
We said it about Red.
Yep.
We said same things about Red Autry when he was hired. Was okay, we know he can recruit.
Yep.
Because he had been the lead guy for Syracuse for a number of years, and he gotten some really good players, and he will continue to do so. Can he coach? I personally think Red can coach, at least a little bit. He's got to get better. It's his first year. That happens. But it's not unreasonable to have the idea, the dream of. I mean, can you imagine what this town would be like if SU was in a playoff game?
If they hosted a college football playoff game, are they all going to be neutral sites, or how does that work?
The first round is like games on campus. The second round is bowl
game.
And I think the after that is bowl games again, and then the national championship.
Right, because
but just the first round, I think you're right, is on campus.
Yeah.
Oh my! Can you imagine
the
top
six
seed?
Okay,
which that won't happen.
Now we're getting crazy.
Yeah, that won't happen.
All right,
unless they go undefeated and win the conference. Like that's the only way that happens is a total undefeated season, win the conference championship. Maybe they get tossed to top 6 seed.
We're talking about like the biggest turnarounds in college football.
Yes, absolutely. And
which is weird to think of coming out of 2 years ago. They were a top 14
program.
program.
Jim said it's actually seeds 5 through 8 host a game.
Oh, because the top 4 get buys?
Yes,
round?
That's right. The top 4 do get a bye, so it seeds 5 through.
Okay, so 8 maybe.
8?
Maybe 8. But let's just take it easy.
But again, rampant. This is dreamland speculation. All of that. We're not. This is not me saying, SU is going to host a college football playoff game. No, they probably aren't going to make the playoff. I understand that. But can you imagine the JMA Wireless Dome?
40,000 people.
For
it's just crazy.
For a college football playoff? They'd get more than that.
Yeah.
They'd sell it out.
Yep.
It would be
40 sellout?
No.
What's the max?
For football, it's like 54.
What?
They don't even come close to sellouts, Josh.
Jesus.
Like they announced a sellout for a game last year, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. There's not 50,000 people there. Yeah, I think it's 50. I think 50. So what it is 4 conference champs get a bye currently.
Oh, so they instantly just be the top. So not the ACC.
Yeah.
The other 4.
Yeah. Well,
that they've determined are the real conferences. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, what conference? And it would be the Big 10.
Yes.
The SEC.
Yes.
The Big 12.
Yep. Oh, true. The Pac-12 is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, the Pac-12 is gone.
So it would be the ACC, I guess. Yeah. On a technicality.
The new seating will be around 44, but right now it sits 50.
Okay.
They're losing a bunch because they're actually putting seats in.
Boo. Give me bleachers.
I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree.
The bleachers suck. I understand they suck, but there's something about it. It feels old, and I like that. I like the rustic feel to the just sitting on a seat, and they're so packed in. There's no room. I mean, if we were sitting next to people the other night, Mark, it would have been a problem.
Oh, it would have been a real problem.
Did you see my spread?
When you leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not.
The spreading my legs were doing to sit in that chair.
Yeah.
I mean, even Pat sitting next to us for a little bit, I was like, oh, when's he leaving? Like, getting tough.
Nothing against you, Pat. But,
no. It's just me being fat, but it was tough.
Pat said I need to get his father on to talk about the renovations.
Is he renovating it?
No, but he's an usher at the Dome.
Oh, okay.
Or security or something.
Gotcha. He knows people.
Yeah, he knows people. But I am so excited for when that place has seats and cup holders. I am so tired of putting my beer on the ground. They get knocked over. It's a pain. It's just awful.
I could never even contemplate putting it on the ground. How am I getting that? I gotta hold it the entire
time. It's such a pain. But sometimes you're eating, and you got to get those dome nachos, which of course I did when we went to the Niagara game. I had. Okay, he's security. I said he's an usher or security. I don't remember. Shout out Tom Burke, the man, and I'm so excited. The man-child won't go back until they do it.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, the man-child hasn't been to the Dome in years.
Because of the bleachers.
Because of the bleachers. He goes, I will go once they have seats with cup holders. That's that. He drew the line at that.
You get one of those. You just buy a student. Season ticket thing. Get the nice little pad on there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but still, I mean that doesn't do much.
The pads are great.
Jim says save the troughs.
I love them. It's old school.
That's the one thing where I'm like, okay, it's got character.
I'm fine with swinging dong in the bathroom. That's all fun. It's fun and games. We're all guys here.
I'm okay with the troughs.
Yeah.
It's just, that's part of it.
Put some ice back in them. Come on.
What I was gonna say is there a venue that is simultaneously as great and terrible as the JMA Wireless Dome?
I don't think so. I mean, from what you've told me about concerts in there too,
oh my God,
the worst.
We're going to the Springsteen concert in April.
Yes,
and I'm super excited.
Sure.
I can't wait to see the boss again. It's been a decade since I've seen him.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to see him again. I've seen 3 shows at the Dome.
Okay,
or 2. I don't remember. I've seen Billy Joel, and Paul McCartney.
Okay,
I think there might be a third one in there somewhere. I don't remember. But I've seen at least 2 shows at the Dome, and both of them great artists that I love, legends.
Yeah.
Terrible sound.
Just that.
It's not a good concert venue at all. But there's just something about the Dome, man. Like, I saw Jay Billis recently did a video of his 5 favorite, or in his opinion, the 5 best venues in college basketball.
Okay.
And he did not list the Dome.
Right.
And in my opinion, when the Dome is packed for a Georgetown or a Duke or a UNC or whoever it might be, but when the Dome sells out for basketball, and I've been to a couple of those games, There is no Pat. I didn't go to the Chili Peppers. I wanted to, but I missed them. There is no better atmosphere for college basketball than a sold out JMA Wireless Dome.
I mean, I just think the top of my head, what comes to my head, Cameron Indoor and Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Those two.
And Allen Fieldhouse in Kansas.
Indiana's one for me. Indiana, them
Yep.
boys love college basketball.
Indiana's another great one.
And then, yeah, I mean, 5 is where it starts, like, there's no locks. Like, those 4 instantly jump to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, then it's like you have a question for 5.
I think it should be in there just because of the size of the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, even, like, these guys are playing in front of more guys than NBA players. The Dome for basketball holds 15,000 more than the Garden.
They could do the Dome is something they could do for like Final Fours. Obviously, it's not that type of location, but in terms of making them play it how it could be played, they do it the weird way. Now, I was shocked the first basketball I went to where they basically cut off half the field. They could easily do it the other way, put seats on the court, basically, and actually pack that place into 60,000.
Oh yeah,
it'd be crazy.
It would be absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
But you know, these are some of the biggest crowds that these kids will play in front of in their entire life. Zion Williamson, when he played at the Dome, I don't know if he's played in front of many bigger crowds in the NBA.
Right.
And that's, you know, one of the top, 15 players in the NBA right now. And Zion's having a really good year for the Pelicans. So
if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, you know, these guys are playing in front of such massive crowd. That's why I think it needs to at least be in the conversation. It's just a sold-out Dome is unbelievable.
Did you see the new Baylor Stadium, though? Like, college basketball, they're renovating now into, like, smaller arenas that are just more on top of you.
Yeah, it's like Cameron.
Kind of like,
Yeah, Cameron seats like 6,000 or whatever.
Like, they feel like the sound, the noise, whatever, get more loud. But I'm kind of with you. The massive crowd is almost as, like, that's what college football, that's the only appeal I have out of college football is the crowd.
Yeah.
Because there's 70,000 people, just ridiculous numbers. And
I mean, go to the Big House. You got 110.
Yes.
Or 120 or whatever it is that monstrosity of a stadium holds.
Yeah.
But that's the appeal of the Dome, is being in there, like, it's the atmosphere. But it's also, it's kind of a bad venue.
Maneuvering through there, the concessions, it's all too small.
Yeah.
The outsides are way too small, or like whatever you want to call
it. The concourses.
Yes. It's actually pretty bad.
The
team store's nice. that level, that level's nice.
Yeah.
The bottom level stinks.
Yep.
That level sucks. It's fine. It's fine.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's so simultaneously fantastic and terrible.
Yes.
And that's the JMA Wireless Dome, man.
That's a little Dome review.
That little Dome review from the boys.
I'll give you one later tonight.
All right, we're going to take a break. Quick timeout. We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score. I gotta see what other games I want to go to this year.
Adam's trying to go to the Notre Dame game on the 24th, but that's another one where I told him, I'm like, it's a Saturday at noon. I'm like, I could meet you there.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to,
I know. I'll leave at 11:30.
Yeah.
My sister is currently in a large war with somebody about her car because she gave me her car. She's getting a new one. They started this process in October, or like beginning of October, and they were like, "Yeah, like don't worry, we're getting new ones. Should be there by December." And then come December, this dude has absolutely ghosted her.
Oh my god!
Responded like once, and she's like, "I'm done with this guy. I'm just ordering online. I'm tired." My dad's like, "No, we gotta talk to him." So finally, she gets a hold of him. Tried calling him, whatever. Text him today, like, "Hey, like." Last call, like, what the hell's happening here? Or else I'm done.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm thinking February. And she's like, nope, not the right answer. Go screw yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what? Just tell me.
I know.
Just talk to me. It'd be fine to wait if you were at all a decent human.
Yeah.
Just tell me. And he was like, total big time when they went. He's like, I've been doing this for 40 years. I know how to do it. Just give me your name. I'll get you. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, shut
In
up.
and out in 10 minutes. Yeah. Eat my ass.
Yeah.
He stinks. God. I was like, I just can't stand old people who think they're. Sorry.
And we're back outside the box score. With me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Just want to quickly tell you about our friends over at Myers Creek Brewing Company. Josh already mouth watering thinking about those delicious brews.
The fogs, they get me. I love them.
The Velvet Fog, all the great beers they have. The Floating on By.
Mark, I was at a White Elephant this year for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
One of the gifts, 4-pack of Myers Creek Velvet Fogs.
Oh, yeah.
I stole that baby.
Did you?
I tell you.
At a baby.
Got taken from me. It's a hot bargain. Everyone is stealing it.
Yeah. I mean,
people love it.
Everyone wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants the beer from our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company. 16 beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor and Cazenovia locations. I haven't been to the Inner Harbor in a couple of weeks, actually. I gotta get back. It's been about 2 weeks, and that's pushing it for me. I need to get back there ASAP.
Oh yeah.
Have one or two of those Velvet Fogs. I know recently Pat and I went to Myers Creek. I try to bring everyone there that I can.
Great spot.
Because it is such a fantastic spot. They got the big TVs. You can watch a game. There's always hockey on there for some reason. So if you're a hockey fan, it's a great place to go and watch a hockey game.
Love a massive bar too. Even the Inner Harbor, huge bar.
Yeah, I mean Cazenovia is. I mean that place is
a beast.
It's a palace. But yeah, big bar at the Cazenovia location. Like I said, 16 beers on tap. If you can't find a beer you like at Myers Creek,
you don't like beer.
You're the problem. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
then you don't like beer. If you don't like Myers Creek, a single one of Myers Creek's beers, then you don't like beer.
Bang.
Because they have the best local beer around. I'd argue some of the best beer around in general. I really love their stuff. I drink it all the time, responsibly, of course.
Yes.
It's my favorite beer in the area. I've gone around and tried a lot of New York State beers.
Sure.
I'm a big fan of trying different local brews, whether they be from Syracuse or Rochester,
Buffalo.
Cooperstown, Buffalo. I've tried a lot of them. They don't hold a candle to Myers Creek Brewing Company. Pat's got the idea. He says he loves beer. Don't we all? We know you do too. So if you're going to drink it, first, drink it responsibly. Second, drink our friends at Myers Creek.
I mean, that's a night. I have four 16-ounce fogs.
Well, I mean, there was
baby.
There was that one day we were golfing, and I brought 2 4-packs of Myers.
Nearly killed me. I was like, I gotta drive to Rochester. Jesus.
I'm not reading that, Pat. I don't care for. You said Myers Creek is the best beer to get behind the wheel of a car with.
Whoa.
No, we do not endorse that here.
Take it easy, Pat.
We do not endorse
It's a
that
family show.
on Outside the Box Score. Don't drink and drive.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Bad.
I agree. And let's close with a little playoff talk. A little playoff and Bills talk.
Let's.
Oh, Jim asks a great question.
About NFL playoffs?
No. Can or bottle?
Bottle.
Can.
Bottle.
Well, okay. In a perfect world, everything would come in those 16-ounce aluminum bottles.
Yes.
Like the one, like Coors Light and Miller. Like,
yeah.
Those are the perfect way to drink a beer.
I'm bottle. I think cans taste it. Like, you can taste
Oh, there is a difference.
I don't like it.
No?
I like bottle. And I prefer bottle to draft. I'm crazy. I don't even really like draft, especially if I can get it in a bottle. You know what I mean?
I gotta be like, listen, I don't discriminate.
Sure.
I like all
I've never turned down a can. I mean, I'm not a sissy boy.
I personally lean can most of the time.
It's the easiest to get your 30 racks. That's for you.
Exactly.
That's the best. We're just talking pure finance here.
Cans chill faster. That's true.
Sure.
I think cans stay colder.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
Yeah.
I think the hand affects the bottle more.
Yes.
I just love a bottle. I need a bottle.
I do enjoy a bottle.
It's one of those weird things you get from like your parents.
Yeah.
My dad is a bottle guy.
Mm-hmm.
Loves
Yeah,
a bottle.
we're Cam.
Yeah. There you go.
And we're back outside the box score with you, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Enough of the beer talk, as much as I could talk beer all day. We do have some football to talk, and that includes the Buffalo Bills tomorrow playing the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo still a 3-point favorite, and in 2 days, the college football playoff championship game, Michigan versus Washington. That is in 2 days, right? That's Monday.
Monday.
Yeah. I thought so. I was just double checking. And Michigan a 4-point favorite over the Huskies. Let's make a couple picks for this game, Josh. For these games, I should say. Where do you lean in both of them?
Let's start with the one I care about more, and that's Miami and Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat, as you mistakenly called Mark a Buffalo hater, I'm the Buffalo hater.
Yeah, I don't hate the Bills at all.
I loathe the people of Buffalo as a Western New Yorker. I can't stand them. They're from a city of degenerates.
Jesus.
I've wished for a lot of bad things to happen at one Bills drive. Okay. But let me tell you why they probably can win the game. They
Mhm.
should win the game.
I agree.
Everyone thinks it. But Miami hasn't won a division title with McDaniel yet. Right? I mean, they are always the second guy to
Yep.
Buffalo as they've gotten good in the last 4 years. No Chubb hurts.
Yep.
No Chubb hurts this defensive side. They have a lot of injuries with Waddle might not play. Tyreek's house burnt down. A lot of things going
Yeah,
on.
a lot of stuff going on with the
Boy,
Dolphins.
somebody help that kid who lit that fire, by the way.
Yeah.
Get him to safety.
Yeah.
So, I like the Dolphins. And I'll tell you why. They're just, it's something about it. You got to come to Miami.
Because you hate the hate the
I
Bills.
like the Dolphins if it matters. If the game doesn't matter, if the Bills are in the playoffs already, sure, 7 and 2 seed, it matters, whatever. They want to win the division regardless. The Dolphins want to win the division. They want to make a statement here. Give me the Dolphins. Give me Tua Tagovailoa, the better passer. Stop giving me this Josh Allen touchdown crap, okay? He's a vulture, God damn it. He is a vulture who takes from people. James Cook should be an all-pro. You know why he's not? Because his quarterback stole 10 rushing touchdowns this year, okay? Give me the Dolphins, baby. Screw the points.
All
They're
right.
winning.
Braylon?
I feel Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm feeling Buffalo -3 as well. Josh, you're alone on that one. Quickly for the playoff. Michigan, Washington.
Michigan is really good, but Washington in big games this year, astounding me. They played really good against Texas, both times against Oregon, USC. Give me the Huskies with the points.
Braylon? It's Michigan -4.
My heart says Washington to see them win, but I think Michigan's going to do it, and then Harbaugh's going to leave.
Josh? I'm with you, baby. Give me the Huskies. Not only +4, give me the Huskies to win the game. Jim Harbaugh is a fraud.
Yes.
I've been saying it all year. The guy can't win when it comes down to it. And I get it. Won the first playoff game. That's great. This is for all the marbles, baby. And Harbaugh, you don't have it.
It'll be a tough week to meditate after this loss.
JJ's
JJ's going to need a lot of it.
This Washington team is so good. And as a Oregon Ducks football fan, it pains me to say it. I don't like these Huskies as far as I can throw them. But I really don't like Michigan. And I really don't like Jim Harbaugh. So I'm pulling hard for these Huskies, and I do think they can win this game. Yes. I really do. I think that team is stacked.
Their offense compared to Michigan is like a wild thing to look at. Michigan's
offense is not good.
No.
And I think J.J. McCarthy stinks.
He's really bad.
I do not think he's a good quarterback.
I don't know how he starts at a program.
Their running back there,
like
Corum, yes, thank you. He's unreal.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's really good. But if Washington can stop him even a little bit, Michigan doesn't stand a chance. So I'm going with the Huskies. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of Outside the Box Score. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. We'll see you then. Peace.